Hello and welcome to Fire Walk with Us, a Twin Peaks podcast. This week we're talking about Twin Peaks: The Return, Part 4. I'm Paul.
And I'm Dave.
And Justin.
Alrighty, so for a quick plot synopsis.
More of Dougie Jones and Mr. Jackpots.
Yes.
The outcome.
Cooper wins 30 mega jackpots at the casino and is driven to Dougie's home. Dougie's wife, Janie E., is relieved that he can pay his large gambling debts. Cooper, near catatonic, has difficulty settling into life as Dougie. He sees a vision of Mike, who informs him that either he or his doppelganger must die. At the sheriff's department, Sheriff Frank Truman gets an update on Hawk's investigation, and Deputy Bobby Briggs recalls that Cooper was the last person to see his father, Major Briggs, before his death. Andy and Lucy's son, Wally Brando, arrives at the sheriff's office to pay his respects to his ill godfather, Harry Truman. Gordon and fellow FBI agents Albert Rosenfield and Tammy Preston travel to South Dakota to interview Cooper's doppelganger, who claims to have been working undercover with Jeffries. Gordon and Albert discuss their misgivings, suspecting a Blue Rose case, and decide to contact a woman they think can help.
So again, Blue Rose is brought up.
Yep.
No idea what that entails.
So it's a reference to something that happens in Fire Walk with Me. Basically, whenever they have a case that has like some kind of like weird supernatural-ish elements, they see this woman and she wears a blue rose on her shirt. It's not terribly important.
Meh.
Alrighty. So, one of the things that I think is quite obvious that you might have noticed in this episode is when Dougie goes home, we see an owl fly overhead.
Woo. Yes.
Woo.
Yeah, that's unsettling.
Yeah, probably not a good sign.
Yeah.
Also,
Even though it's not anywhere near Twin Peaks, but
The owls are still dangerous. They must be stopped.
it's great that David Duchovny came back as Denise.
Hmm.
I just love that. It's just fantastic. So, Dave, I'm sure you have some things you want to talk about in this episode, so why don't you go ahead?
Well, the particular point I'm sure you are just desperate to know there, Paul, is my opinions on Bobby showing up. And I'm just going to have to say, I'm honestly okay with it. It was interesting to see him come back in this role, as well as his reaction to seeing Laura Palmer's picture after all these years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's bringing up the point that within season 1 and 2, with his relation that he had with Laura, that something is still there and something's got to be coming up with him.
Yeah, could be.
With all the particular stuff that was going on.
How do you feel about him being a deputy?
I'm not too surprised with being in a small town, and since his amazing aspirations didn't go anywhere, it's one of the better options that I figured he could have taken.
Yep.
yeah, I guess he spent the time to kind of become a deputy
I mean,
at some point in 25 years.
Yeah.
and I mean, it's Twin Peaks. How much training do they really have to go through?
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
To let Andy be a person.
Yeah, I mean, like, Andy's one of the high-ranking deputies there.
Hey, he is a decent shot.
Andy, in certain situations, is a good shot. He is useless on the practice range.
Man, true.
I love, we get the scene where Lucy doesn't understand cell phones.
Oh, that, right.
That honestly got a decent giggle out of me. I was like, holy cow, why the heck did she freak out so much? I mean, seriously, had a comical flipping backward in her chair moment. I was like,
These are called cell phones, meaning you're not tied to a landline.
I love how Sheriff Truman just walks in and he holds up his iPhone and she's like, it's like she's seen a demon. She's like, what? It's great. And we get to meet Wally Brando,
yes.
the son of Andy and Lucy,
Played by Michael Cera.
Yeah.
played by Michael Cera.
No, I remember from what you're mentioning that a supposed actor we'd known would supposedly come up within these couple of episodes. I wasn't really reminded until Andy and Lucy were kind of freaking out. It's like, out of all the people I could think of, who could it be? And then he showed up and was like, oh, okay. Definitely makes sense. Good that he's in something. Not super surprised, but nice to sort of see him. And then his accent came up. And I was like, what? What?
I don't know what accent that is.
He was trying to do a Godfather.
Is he trying to do Brando? Because it doesn't really sound like Brando. It's a really shit Brando if that's what he's doing.
That's the closest thing that I could sort of come to with how he was sort of saying it in the mannerism of how he sort of said it. It's either that or he was kind of going for the well-traveled hipster sort of thing.
I don't know, but it's just perfect.
A little bit, yes. It's kind of like, what? What? But then as it sort of went on, it's like, okay, I think I can kind of accept this if someone works decently.
Yeah, it seems like a weird casting choice, but it actually works really well.
It looks like it works in a way. I mean, it seems like a logical outcome of...
Like, I mean, out of the couple other particular people that they possibly could have hired to do that, doubt anyone would be somewhat decent at it, aside from him.
Yeah, no, I like it. It's kind of weird, but it's funny.
I don't think he comes up again in another episode, sadly.
No, unfortunately, it's a one-off.
No, kind of the case that they brought in a couple of decent actors that a couple people will recognize, but they're not going to stick around for too long. It's just kind of a case of, oh, look, those people I recognize. Oh, wait, there they go, bye.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who will show up for one or two scenes and then be gone.
Nah.
Or they'll be there for an episode or two, but...
Nah.
Oh, well.
So, Gordon, Albert, and Tammy go to South Dakota to interview Cooper's doppelganger.
Yeah.
What do you think of this?
It was kind of a case of, do they understand that that's not really Cooper? I really hope they do, because the last thing I want is to have any of those people sort of affected by that guy, because he real bad.
Well, they do realize something is wrong, obviously.
Thank goodness.
They do notice that something is wrong,
Yes.
and they contact someone to help.
Meh.
You have any idea who they might be contacting?
I think it was the Blue Rose was brought up again,
Yes.
and it had something related to Major Briggs from last time we saw him.
He said it when we were when we were in the Black Lodge last episode.
Right, when it was last mentioned. So, supposedly it has some sort of relation to maybe someone within the project that the Major worked on. But as it is for who, I'm not particularly sure. Aside from what you mentioned.
Okay. So I'm going to tell you it is a character whose presence has been throughout the series, but we have yet to meet.
Supposed gasp.
Presence. Oh, is it the person that Cooper keeps contacting?
Yes.
Okay.
It is Diane.
And here I thought it was going to be something related to the fan.
No.
No. We are going to meet Diane.
Neat.
Yes.
The fan's presence has been there before.
I love when Albert and Gordon are in the car, and they're driving down the street or the highway, and Gordon's like, "I don't see Mount Rushmore anywhere." And Albert's like, "I brought a picture for you."
Yeah,
He's such a dick.
Yeah.
Dude, I've driven through South Dakota. You don't see Mount Rushmore on the highway, on the interstate. You would have to.
No, yeah,
kind
you
of
have to
break
go
off.
like way off up into.
Yeah, you have to go.
No, if you want to see it, you have to go to the site, pay the fee, and actually go and see it yourself.
Yeah, basically.
You gotta
And it's
give them the change for it.
Fucking expensive.
No, I wouldn't be too surprised with the landmark like that.
Pretty pricey.
Yeah.
But I haven't been to Mount Rushmore myself either. But
Oh, you haven't?
no, I did drive through South Dakota though.
Oh, okay, I've been to Rushmore.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so, did either of you have a favorite moment or character in this episode?
I think out of everything, Lucy and Andy's son was definitely an interesting sort of moment. Not surprising. The only other thing that I'm interested about was the one scene at the casino with Dougie and the owner of the casino, where the owner of the casino is just kind of like, yeah, we're watching you. It's like, God damn it, you took all
You
my
better
money
come
and
back and give us the money we paid you.
Just like,
It's like you want him back after all this. Are you gonna rig your machine so they don't actually ever win ever again?
either that or it's gonna devolve into some sort of crazy case of he'll try and do something crazy, but then the Black Lodge get involved, and then he's gonna go into something sort of weird thing. Again, who knows, but I'm just sort of like, something's probably going to happen to you. Whether it's on screen or not, I'm not sure, but something's gonna happen to you, dude.
Okay, Justin.
Yeah, and the whole charade with Dougie acting as Dougie Cooper, whatever he is now, is kind of, playing the role as being in this house of the wife, or husband of this one person with a son.
Yep.
I also
Eating pancakes.
I also
I love
question.
that.
I also
He's got the tie on his head.
I question whether or not the son is either in that sort of state or is just kind of fucking around with everything.
I don't know, but I liked when he tried to drink his coffee.
I love his coffee cup. I am Dougie's coffee.
Yes.
Now that's
I want
definitely
one of
interesting.
those. And I don't drink coffee.
Honestly, the one particular thing that came to my mind was the coffee came up and two things popped into my head. It's like, it would be so nice if that coffee kind of snaps Cooper out of this.
But no, he
Or-
basically almost chugs it and then burns his mouth.
Or he's gonna say a line that's related to coffee that reminds of the first season or second season. I'm like, oh, please do something. I need something to save this episode. And then he spits it off. It's like, it's mildly comedic, but it's not what I needed.
Nope, it's still Dougie.
He's still Dougie.
We're gonna turn this into a thing. I just know it. Just stupid things are gonna happen. It's just gonna be. It's just Dougie.
Okay, so we know that Dougie has a job. I want to do a little thing here. What do you think Dougie's job is going to be? Because it's going to be revealed soon. What kind of company do you think he works for?
Something that gives him at least a decent enough paycheck.
Real estate? I don't know.
Yeah, no,
Now,
tangentially.
I wouldn't particularly say so, because despite the fact that they had the keys and whatnot needed to get into a place like that, I think that was more the prostitute that had that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
She got it through other means,
Yeah,
not so much Dougie's job.
no.
The most I can think of is some sort of salesman or advisement person.
Okay.
With
Okay.
the incredibly cringy suits that he usually has.
I love that green suit.
No, the suit is fine. It's just with the make and sort of look. It's like, you look like a sleazy salesman.
At least he knew how to put on a tie over his head.
I love how, early in the episode, Cooper's got this really good, black suit on, and then he puts on this shitty green one. Oh, it's horrible.
Eh.
But it's so perfect for his character. Alright, do either of you have any last-minute thoughts to add?
No, just mildly intrigued to see how things change and praying to living goodness that Cooper actually kind of comes back.
I'm not seeing Cooper coming back anytime soon, unfortunately.
Are there any other characters you're waiting to see?
Audrey.
Audrey? Yeah.
That would be nice. I think
Yeah.
the only other person in mind, aside from the other couple of girls, would be Leo. See what the heck happened to him after his precarious situation in season 2.
Okay. Well, we'll have to find out. And in the words that you will soon hear from Dr. Jacoby, you gotta shovel yourself out of this shit. I'm Paul.
I'm Dave.
And Justin.